live on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's some quick stories you're seeing on social. U.S. passport delays are up to 4 months long.
That is crazy.
Yeah, getting a lot worse. Americans' demand for international travel surged since the pandemic, and delays are likely to worsen as we get into the busier travel season. Everyone's like, get me out of here. I need a break.
They're like, I'm out.
I'm good.
A sign that spring is here. The Masters tournament is set to begin in a couple of days. New videos showing players attempting to skip their balls across the water at the 16th hole of the Augusta National.
That's kind of cool. Mine always just goes plunk.
I don't play.
I've played a few times, and it is bad. It's a comedy show.
I mean, I could skip a stone.
But that's cool, though. Good stuff.
Huh, interesting.
And a woman is on a quest to go on as many dates in as many countries as possible. So, Carloni James has been on 34 dates in 19 countries. They include a 13-hour date in Egypt during Ramadan and a nighttime tour of the Italian city of Verona on a scooter, and soon to be Dayton, Ohio on a brewery tour. Right, Nick?
Stop. You're ridiculous.
What? Trying to help a
brother.
Trying to help a brother
He'll
out.
just take her to the kegerator in his living room.
Woo!
Best brewery in town.
All right, taking a live look over the Miami Valley right now. Weather this morning is a bit warm, but we could see some nasty weather tomorrow.
All right, so let's send it over to our master brewer, Nick Maruziak, for a look at your morning forecast.
Big pimpin'.
I'm not sure what to do with these two. I'm not sure what to do with these two. Here I'm trying to be serious, and I get let in with that. All right, here's what we got. We got damaging wind gusts possible tomorrow. We've also got the threat of an isolated tornado or some large hail. It is a day where we really have to be weather aware because the cold front will go its way through during the afternoon and evening. Meanwhile, for right now, this is an area where we have to watch this morning for a couple of scattered showers. I don't want to make this out to be anything crazy, but there is at least a chance of, well, unfortunately, this graphic isn't working, but there is at least a chance of a couple morning showers, perhaps temperatures in the 50s and 60s. We'll try and get this fixed, but let's actually head out to the roads this morning. We're so far so quiet, at least on the interstates. We're pointing out that entrance ramp I-75 north at exit 50 still closed right now. The accident, a couple of accidents on Miller Lane, Maxton Road, as well as Philadelphia Drive, as well as we do have those lane restrictions on I-75 north and south between 44 and 52.
Ohio's driving home its new distracted driving law starting today. It's illegal in most cases to use or hold a cell phone or other device when you're behind the wheel. As Terry Sullivan reports, a new campaign urges you to lock before you rock the road.
It's a straightforward message with a nod to Ohio's rock and roll roots.
Anything more than a single touch or swipe is against the law. So, lock that screen before you rock the road.
As of Tuesday, police will be able to pull you over if they see you holding a cell phone or electronic device in your hand or lap.
Put it simply, lock your phone, put it down, put it in the console, put it in the glove compartment. Just get it out of your hands.
DeWine says too many people have been seriously hurt or even killed because of poor choices behind the wheel. New research from Nationwide Insurance found that 42% of Ohio drivers admitted to making a phone call on a handheld device while driving. 25% say they've texted. 10% have admitted to video chatting. And 5% admitted to watching TV or a movie.
It was a beautiful day, Saturday afternoon in June, the day before Father's Day.
Leah Fullenkamp's husband was killed in 2018 by a driver who was online shopping.
Shortly after pulling out of the driveway, John was hit from behind by an SUV. This driver was using her cell phone to shop online. The equipment broke off from the tractor rolled, John was thrown off, care flight was called, but he passed away before they could take off.
Her family hopes this new law will change behavior and save lives.
That was Terry Sullivan reporting. There will be a 6-month grace period, so if you're pulled over before October 4th, you'll get a warning.
Taking a live look this morning at the Indiana State Police Pendleton's Facebook page here behind me. Right now, officers investigating after a Winchester woman was killed. Sunday night, police officers went to the 600 block of East Short Street. They found a woman with a gunshot wound and took 3 suspects into custody. That woman was identified as Isabel Hernandez and was taken to the hospital but died from her injuries. 25-year-old Larry Plank III now faces a preliminary charge of murder.
Right now, Attorney General Dave Yost is suing a Wapakoneta construction company and its owner for taking money and not completing the work. The company, Grizzly Buildings, is accused of accepting over $200,000 from customers who say the work was never started, never finished, or done improperly. Yost's office received over 16 complaints about the company since November of 2021. And the Attorney General is reminding you to always check the company's authenticity with the Better Business Bureau. You can do that at bbb.org.
East Dayton Christian schools are back in session today after closing yesterday due to a threat. An investigation led to the arrest of an 11-year-old boy. Take a look at their Facebook page. The school superintendent says a threat came in on Sunday and officials decided to close school Monday out of caution. Police say the threats came after an 11-year-old who is not associated with the school, and he now faces charges of inducing panic.
Our time right now is 5:06. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Your weather's on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
New developments on the Chinese spy balloon. Military and intelligence experts react to reports the balloon was gathering intelligence from U.S. military sites.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
live on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
In just a matter of hours, early in-person voting will be kicking off for the May primary.
Dayton 24/7 Now's Alex King is live downtown with the details. And Alex, what do people need to know?
Well, you can find a full list of candidates and issues on your county's Board of Elections website. Early voting starts at 8 this morning here at the Montgomery County Board of Elections and Administrative Building. You'll have until April 30th, the Sunday before Election Day. Along with early voting, Montgomery County will start sending out absentee ballots, and you can request those online.
Now, Alex, there's also a new law here in Ohio where voters should keep in mind this year before they head out.
Yes, you'll need a photo ID this time around. You can use a driver's license, your state ID, or a military ID. You can't use a utility bill or anything without a picture on it. We'll have everything you need to know about the May primaries underneath the local section of our website, Dayton247now.com. And stay with us because we're going to talk some specific items that are going to be on the ballot. Back to you guys.
Good morning. We are waking up to right now quieter conditions across the area. Still think that there's an opportunity for us to pick up a shower, although that probably won't get arrived till at least mid to late morning. Meanwhile, for today, again, a couple of showers late morning. We will get some clearing as we get into the afternoon. I can't completely rule out a stray shower or even a thunder boomer. But really, I think it's going to be pretty quiet once we get the second half of today. Meanwhile, tomorrow morning, waking up to clouds. A couple of things that we have to watch, how much clearing we get. But even if we don't see a lot of clearing, what we really want to watch is the cold front as it begins out west. This is likely to produce a line of showers and storms. So even if we get activity during the noontime hours, there's still going to be a good opportunity for storms in and around our area. It is always a question mark of how much can these storms hold together. And the environment out to the west will be supportive of some severe weather. So this does seem like a case where we are under the gun for strong to severe storms here in the Miami Valley, even if our environment isn't 100% conducive. In terms of the severe risk, damaging wind gusts, isolated tornadoes, large hail, pretty much in that order. But I would say the highest is going to be for those damaging wind gusts across the area. So tomorrow, an active weather day. Beyond that, it actually turns quiet and cooler as we head towards the weekend. Meantime, here's what it looks like this morning on the roads. It's pretty quiet, although we got a couple of things worth noting. Between exits 44 and 52, some lane restrictions on I-75, as well as I-75 north at Dryden Road. That's where we still have the exit ramp closed.
New developments on the Chinese spy balloon. NBC now reporting the balloon was able to gather intelligence from sensitive U.S. military sites, citing U.S. officials and a former senior administration official.
Dayton 24/7 Now's national correspondent Dee Dee Gatton joins us with a look at what experts believe could have been collected and how the government is responding.
A Defense Department spokesperson couldn't confirm whether the balloon was transmitting real-time information back to China. Some military experts tell me they aren't so much concerned about this flight as they are about what this could lead to.
But it's the future potential that does have me concerned.
According to new reports, the spy balloon that floated across the U.S. in February was able to get intelligence from sensitive American military sites and transmit information in real time back to Beijing, according to NBC, which cites two senior U.S. officials and a former senior administration official. They say more could have been collected had it not been for the administration's efforts.
I cannot confirm that there was real-time transmission back from the balloon back to the PRC at this time.
In light of that response from the Pentagon Monday about the balloon, retired Lieutenant Colonel and military expert Daniel Davis maintains.
I'm talking the open sources. They say it was maneuverable, conducted potentially a figure 8 over some of our military installations. You can't do that unless you have real-time contact with the device.
CNN cites a source familiar with the matter saying the spy balloon was able to capture imagery and collect some signals intelligence from U.S. military sites. Former Executive Assistant Director for Science and Technology for the FBI, Chris Pyhota, tells me what he believes could have been collected given the facts.
The trajectory of the surveillance balloon, as it's now been confirmed, transited over Malmstrom Air Force Base in Montana, which is the site of the largest missile complex in the Western Hemisphere. So on a strategic level, they would be looking for something along the lines of placement of missile silos, any changes to our facilities. They'd be looking to validate any information that they may have collected separately.
The deputy Pentagon press secretary wouldn't comment on any specific sites Monday. But we do know in February, a senior defense official said that from an intelligence collection perspective, quote, this balloon has limited additive value.
I think that probably it's not as harming from this one flight as some may think that it was. But anytime you have an adversary that's flying over your airspace and hovering over your sensitive information or your sensitive military sites, that's a concern.
China has reportedly maintained the balloon was a weathercraft that blew off course. The FBI is still examining the balloon. Reporting for the National Desk, I'm Dee Dee Gatton.
5:17, our time right now. A Michigan teen with a major shoe problem just had the celebrity that stepped up and a big gift. That was a big help.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Money Sense is sponsored by Abbey Credit Union.
If you're looking to purchase a home, you're probably looking to get informed about your home loans. A home loan is also called a mortgage. Here are some important things to know about getting a home loan. You should do your research on the different types of loans available. These include fixed rate, adjustable rate, FHA, and VA home loans. You should also know your credit score. Having a good credit score will ultimately help you receive a better rate term on your loan. Finally, find a lender you trust. Spend time researching different lenders based on rates, reputation, and the loans they specialize in. If you have any questions about this process, visit our local pros right here in town.
Abbey Credit Union is celebrating 85 years. We can help with low-rate mortgage, home equity, vehicle, or student loans. Abbey can even consolidate your credit card debt with no transfer fees. Visit any of our branches today and find out what Abbey Credit Union can do for you.
live on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
All right, we're going to start things out with Pet of the Day, where today we're looking at Calvin. Calvin over here, who ate and decided to nap. And boy, if that isn't the life, I don't know what is. But unfortunately for all the dogs out there, especially if they're not a fan of storms, could actually get a couple during the late morning through the early afternoon. So almost no change from yesterday's time. Perhaps maybe the only thing that's going to be different is a little bit more chance of heavy rain. Beyond that, sunshine and temperatures in the 70s. So yesterday we hit 71, very mild, absolutely gorgeous afternoon. Today, I would say we've got a chance to get mid to upper 70s, which for this time of year is starting to get into that 15 and 20 degree above average area. Very warm, but not necessarily record breaking. Either way, it's going to be a mild day for today and also tomorrow. Tomorrow, though, better chance of storms, including some strong to severe storms during the second half of the day. As for the roads this morning, things are pretty quiet on the interstates. Do have one incident right now, North Main Street at Ridge Ave, and a couple of lane restrictions, including the entrance ramp at Dryden Road on I-75 North. That is still closed as of right now.
Nearly a third of Americans would take a pay cut for a year to be allergy-free, according to new research. A survey of 2,000 U.S. adults with allergies discovered about 2 in 5 people dread the spring season because of their allergies. This was conducted by one poll on behalf of Flonase, and the results also found people consider allergy symptoms to be the most frustrating part of springtime, compared to spring cleaning, mosquitoes, and even filing taxes. Well, a new study from Duke University found that loyal employees tend to get taken advantage of. It says managers target loyal workers over less committed colleagues when doling out unpaid work and additional job tasks. The loyal workers were more likely to stay late or do tasks not in their job description. And the Mediterranean diet has repeatedly been recommended by health organizations and experts as an eating plan to help improve your overall health. But new research shows it can actually reduce your risk of heart attack and stroke, even if you're at high risk for both or either, and even if you don't increase your exercise. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. Here's your health.
A teenager from Michigan had a shoe problem and recently got help from an NBA legend. Now, this is Eric Kilburn, and he's 6'10" and wears a size 23 shoe. Wow. He says he's had trouble finding a good pair of shoes that will fit him. Former NBA player Shaquille O'Neal heard about the shoe issue and reached out to the teen. O'Neal has a shoe deal with Reebok, and the company sent Kilburn some shoes. Under Armour also trying to help. Kilburn says he's never had this many options of footwear before. I mean, both of my brothers wear like
10.
Yeah, both of my brothers wear size 15s, and they have problems finding shoes.
I was just say but your brothers are pretty tall.
Yeah, they're 6'5". They're not 6'10".
It's not that. I mean, it's not that far off.
I was going to say that's pretty crazy.
Where
though.
do you come from? The milkman?
Oh God!
How are your two brothers like giants, and you're this little like?
I don't know.
Are you part of the little people?
I am.
Are you part of the?
Listen, for the record, when on camera, I make you look a lot shorter than me, okay?
When on camera, I know I'm short.
You can't
I know I'm short.
I'm
but I
above
wear
average
heels.
I'm 5'11".
Is that what you do? Do you wear heels too to make yourself not look short?
No, I just accept the fact that I'm going to be like looking up at everybody. So 6'5", 6'10", 5'8",
listen,
all look the same to me.
We all can't be an Adonis of a man like our producer Alex, who is like
I
this
know.
tall,
What is he, like 7 feet? Well, how tall are you, Alex? 6'4".
Yeah.
Wow. You know, he did commit. You and I are dating his wedding coming up.
Oh, God help us. God help him. He's like, it didn't tell
He
my
hasn't asked his fiancé yet, but she'll say yes.
We're voluntelling them, right?
We're voluntelling them.
Our time right now is 5:25. Still to come.
Early in-person voting for the May primaries begin today. Coming up next, we're going to talk about what you can see on the ballot.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple is reportedly cutting back production of its powerful M2 chips amid a slump in demand for MacBooks. Sources say Apple produced only half as many of the chips last month compared to the same period last year. It's not expected to affect the release of the 15-inch MacBook Air, though. Google wants to make your search for a vacation a bit easier and less expensive. New features include a flight price guarantee, the ability to see a slideshow of prospective hotels, and a function within Maps that lets you both find prices for and book nearby activities. Finally, YouTube is doubling down on Coachella. The Music and Arts Festival starts next weekend in Southern California. YouTube says fans who aren't attending can watch performances on 6 simultaneous live streams. I think that means you can watch your favorite artists before and after they perform. So, Prima Donna and Post Malone. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Ten years from today, Lisa Schneider will become the undisputed leader of a ginormous pack of dogs. Rescue dogs, to be exact. A second act made possible by the career reskilling courses Lisa's already taking now with AARP to help make sure her income lives as long as she does, so she can finally run with the big dogs and the small dogs who just think they're big dogs. That's why the younger you are, the more you need AARP.
As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. How recent is your booster? There are updated boosters designed to better protect against recent Omicron variants. Schedule yours now.
Hate it when a car freshener hits you with an overwhelming blast of perfume? Febreze car vent clips work differently. Febreze gives you consistent freshness that starts just right and stays just right for 40 days. Upgrade to
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's a look at this morning's social feed. Don't look down. Don't look down, Nathan.
I can't do it!
Video of a woman swimming with sharks now making its round on Twitter. That is, pass.
They're like, I'm an influencer. Let me get this cool picture.
I know.
Chomp.
No, thank you.
Chomp.
Chomp.
Is that what the shark says right before it bites? Chomp.
I'm pretty sure I read that in a kid's book. Chomp. And Japan's now restricting visitors to one of its islands to help save a rare native wildcat. They're hoping it will help repopulate the Iramate cat population.
I don't know. I wrote that, but I have no idea. You can blame Natalie. She's the one that found the story.
I don't. We're going to blame the.
I took
Do
what
not
I was
place
given.
blame on our producer.
And take a look at this radioactive green sky. Yeah, no, it's not actually radioactive. That, though, is the aurora borealis. That is insane.
Yeah, it's amazing that the ground is even glowing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's beautiful, though.
I would love to see that.
Me too. Bucket list, for sure.
Now taking a live look over the Miami Valley right now. Weather this morning, a bit warm. Actually felt great as I left this morning.
I had to take my jacket off. I was sweating.
Yeah, but you know what? We can't just have nice warm weather. There always has to be a extra elements.
I was like,
right?
where are we going with this?
I
Where
don't
are we
know.
going?
It always
I don't
has
know where.
to-
Sometimes I don't know what you're talking about.
It always
and
rains.
I just pretend.
It always rains on our parade.
Okay, thanks, Nathan. Let's send it over to me. A good way to be a Debbie Downer this morning.
What?
Let's send it right over to, speaking of Debbie Downers, meteorologist Nick Maruziak.
Oh, not.
What do I got to be the Debbie Downer? Just because we issued a code red? All right, we have issued a code red. So on a serious note, damaging wind gusts are possible for tomorrow, as well as I can't rule out isolated tornado or large hail. What's going to happen is we're going to get a strong cold front moving through, and out to the west, there's likely to be storms developing. And as it continues east, kind of similar to what we saw just a few days ago, could be in store. Difference is it's going to be warmer and more humid. Speaking of warmer, you know, they mentioned it. It's in the 50s this morning. Forget about a heavy jacket. You may get away with just a light little springtime number. For this morning, temperatures 50s giving way to upper 50s by about 11 a.m. And again, that's about the time period like what we saw yesterday where we could get some isolated showers and thunderstorms to develop. So if you're going to be out and about today, perhaps throw the umbrella in the back of the car, but it is going to be, generally speaking, pretty dry early on. As for this morning's commute, no major issues right now on the interstates. Things are moving smooth, and all the rain from yesterday has pretty much dried up, so we're not too concerned about that either.
Taking a live look this morning over New York's Trump Tower, where former President Donald Trump is inside right now, preparing to become the first ever former president to go in front of a judge. And in just a matter of hours, the former president will step inside this Manhattan courthouse. He'll be arraigned on several charges of falsifying business records. And while the indictment is sealed until today's hearing, sources say there's at least one felony. Overnight, former President Trump criticized Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, accusing his office of leaking information about the sealed indictment to the press, saying Bragg should, quote, indict himself. Dayton 24/7 Now's Gwyneth Falloon explains what we can expect once former President Trump surrenders.
Well, probably the most anticipated, his indictment will be unsealed when he is arraigned, so we'll learn what exactly he's being charged with. But many are predicting his charges likely stem from the alleged $130,000 hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. He'll enter either a guilty plea or a not guilty plea. That's according to the University of Dayton's law professor Thaddeus Hoffmeister. He also says it's unlikely he'll be handcuffed and taken into custody.
So he'll turn himself in, then he'll be processed. You go through the process, fingerprinting, mugshot, things like that.
Hoffmeister also tells me it's probably too early for Trump to plead guilty. However, it is also likely Trump will fight the charges, as the Associated Press is reporting the former president added a third attorney to his legal counsel. Reporting, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
There are questions about whether former President Trump will have a mugshot. Some experts are actually saying it's unlikely.
The leaning has been not to, because A, it's not really necessary. Everybody knows what he looks like. It's not like if he fled the jurisdiction that they would say, wow, we really should have had that mugshot. B, if they need to, they can create a mugshot from existing pictures. But the real concern is that the mugshot is going to be misused.
New York state law prohibits the release of booking photos unless police say there is a legitimate law enforcement purpose to release them. Trump's legal team is trying to avoid a leak.
Now, news outlets will not be allowed to broadcast the arraignment. Photographers will be allowed to take still pictures of Trump in the courtroom before the hearing begins. A new poll finds most Americans approve of former president's indictment, and according to CNN, 60% of people somewhat or strongly approve of it, at 40% disapprove.
That same poll found 75% of people think politics either played a major or minor role in the decision to press charges against him. We will be following the court proceedings all morning long. To get the latest updates sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app and just scan that QR code right there on your screen. You can also download it for free in your device's app store.
Voter registration now closed for the May primaries, and early in-person voting kicks off today.
Dayton 24/7 Now's Alex King is live this morning with what you need to know. And Alex, what will people see on the ballot?
Well, the big race you'll see on the ballot, Dayton Commission is looking to fill 2 seats. Also, you'll see large tax levies for several school districts in the area, including Vandalia, Butler, Northmont, Huber Heights, and Mad River.
Now, Alex, at this time, will you also be able to vote absentee starting today?
Yes, that is correct, Elise. Counties will start sending out ballots today. Absentee ballots must be postmarked the day before the election. You can also hand deliver them to the Montgomery County Board of Elections by 7:30 on the evening of May 2nd, the day of the election. Do not send your ballot via email or fax. Actually, Ohio law doesn't allow electronic transmission of a voted ballot. We'll have everything you need to know about the May primaries underneath the local section of our website, Dayton247now.com. And coming up next, we're going to talk more about what else you need to know ahead of Election Day coming up in May. Live in Dayton, Alex King, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
We're learning new details about a public visitation for a Springfield Township officer happening this week. Officer Tim Unwin was responding to a call when his cruiser hit another vehicle, killing him and the other driver, 50-year-old William Dunson. An open visitation's tomorrow starting at 6 p.m. A public funeral is Thursday starting at 10 a.m. Unwin is a 4-year veteran of the force and 31 years old.
We now know the city of Riverside settled with the parents of 2 6-year-old girls killed in 2019. However, the settlement details are not public. Back in 2019, investigators say Raymond Walters stabbed his father, stole a pickup truck, and then crashed it. When police responded, he stole a police cruiser and drove it at nearly 100 miles per hour into a van filled with children. Penelope Jasko and Eleanor McBride, both just 6 years old, died. 9 others were hurt. Walters later died in prison, awaiting trial for murder charges in that case.
In Miami County, a grand jury handed on indictments against 2 people accused of stealing tools and construction equipment. 34-year-old Derek Grimm and 25-year-old Morgan Carter are on your screen right now. Each face several charges. And the pair allegedly targeted construction sites, tool trailers, and storage sheds across 10 counties between November 2021 and March of 2023. It's estimated they stole over $100,000 of equipment. We are still waiting to learn arraignment dates.
Well, millions of dollars is now heading to Ohio, and especially here to the Miami Valley. Senator Sherrod Brown announced funding for STEM research and fair housing just yesterday. Now, the First National Science Foundation awarded several grants for STEM research at universities. That's, of course, science, technology, engineering, and math. $175,000 will go to the University of Dayton, another $175,000 for Wright State. Their goals are to help build cyber attack detection systems and then help retain their talent. Next, $850,000 is coming to Southwest Ohio to promote fair housing. Now, that money comes from the Department of Housing and Urban Development for the Fair Housing Initiatives program. This gives funding for organizations helping people facing housing discrimination. That includes $425,000 for the Miami Valley Fair Housing Center of Dayton.
Our time right now is 5:39. Don't forget to get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Your weather's on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
The college basketball season coming to a close. UConn and San Diego State playing for the national championship just ahead. We've got highlights from Houston.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
Good morning. We have gotten code red for tomorrow. In the meantime, it is a morning where we're watching out to the west. There is some development of some showers right now through west central Indiana over the last about actually hour, maybe even 40 minutes right now around Bloomington. That is where we could catch a couple of showers later on today. Not that I'm expecting anything more than maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, but from about, let's say 9, 10, 11 this morning through the early stage of the afternoon, that will become at least in theory possible. Rest of today, mix of sun and clouds. Tomorrow, more clouds than sun, and could be a couple of showers, perhaps even a couple of rumbles of thunder early on. The main line, though, doesn't get here until the evening, and a concern is that this could bring us some strong to severe storms, including some damaging winds. Again, that is why we have gone code red for tomorrow, is due to the fact that yet again we have another chance at strong to severe storms across the Miami Valley.
Our time right now, 5:43, off to a great start, and the Reds rolling into a new series just ahead. Highlights from the Great American Ballpark.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
This was our vision. This was our dream. This is what we talked about when we recruited these guys, that we could get together and do something big like this.
It was a big night for Danny Hurley and his UConn Huskies. For the 5th time in school history, they hoisted the trophy as champions of the Division I men's basketball tournament. Now, the focus, of course, was on Houston last night as UConn took on San Diego State. It was a good start for the Aztecs, but that quickly changed. The Huskies finished a dominant run in the tournament with another impressive win, beating SDSU 76-59. UConn won all 6 tournament games by double digits and by scoring an average of 20 points per game. All 5 national titles have come in the last 24 years.
Now we want to give you a live look at the Cincinnati Reds Twitter page. It reads www.redswinagain.com. Since he made it 3 in a row on Monday when they faced off against the Chicago Cubs. After winning back-to-back games over the weekend against the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cubs came to town and it was a back-and-forth start at Great American Ballpark. But with Chicago leading 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th, Jason Volser put Cincy in front for good with a 3-run blast to left. The Reds bullpen kept it together as Cincinnati wins 7-6. And look who's on top of the NL Central. Cincinnati sharing the top spot at 3-1 with Milwaukee Brewers. The Reds are back in action at home tonight when they take on the Cubs at 6:40.
Good morning. We are waking up to temperatures not just a little bit, but dare I say a lot warmer than we saw 24 hours ago. We're 19 degrees warmer in Dayton, 23 in Middletown. It is an impressively warm atmosphere with temperatures at this hour anywhere from 48 in Greenville, which seems to be just a local anomaly, into the mid to upper 50s further to the south. Wind speeds 5 to 15, almost approaching 20 miles per hour out of the south. So what we're continuing is that southern flow. That does two things. It adds moisture to our atmosphere, but also keeps things quite warm. Take a look at temperatures today. Upper 70s. So if you are planning out your day, other than a few showers between 9, 10, 11 this morning, we are going to be, generally speaking, partly to mostly sunny. Temperatures will be almost summer-esque or early summer-ish. I think late spring, also a fair summation of today. And then overnight tonight will be in the mid-60s. So forget about leaving the windows open overnight. We are talking about a pretty, I would dare say, night where we may even need to run the AC just to get the humidity out of the air. At least maybe that's just me. Tomorrow, 75 degrees. This is the problem spot, though. Strong to severe storms are possible. That's why we've gone ahead and issued a code red, because there is at least a good chance that some of us will see not only thunderstorms, but perhaps some gusty winds. As always, it's a question mark of is it gusty winds, or can these winds become strong enough to become damaging? That is something that we are tracking rather closely. On the roads this morning, no winds as of right now that are really truly noteworthy or in a direction that's going to really mess things up. We are pretty smooth on 70 and 75. Let's head down to Columbus and see what's going on there.
Good morning. If you are commuting from Dayton to the Cincinnati area, I do have a road closure in Butler County to let you know about that goes through April 7th, and that is Ware Road. It is closed just north of Morgan-Thaler Road, and your detour there is posted to get you around it. But Morgan-Thaler to North Riverside to Busenbark back to State Route 73 will get you around that closure. So keep that in mind if you're heading out the door this morning. I'm Jen Dalton with Triple Team Traffic. Have a good day.
Our time right now is 5:50. Hard to miss, a massive utensil lost but now found just ahead. How one spoon went viral and the man that discovered Big Red.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
In this morning's GMA First Look, meet the 4 NASA astronauts taking America back to the moon.
What's it like telling your families, like, hey, I'm going really, really far into space?
Depends on which family member. I think it's a little different when you're telling your parents. Yeah. Even they told me it's a little bit different as a parent to watch your child go that far.
This eager crew blasting off late next year on the 10-day Artemis II mission, helping NASA pinpoint exactly where the next moon crew should land in 2025.
What are you most excited about with this particular mission?
We would be lying if we didn't say we want to be 8,000 miles from the moon, look out the window, see the moon, and look back at all of us. That is going to just take our breaths away.
And we'll have much more with the crew of Artemis II coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Gio Benitez, ABC News, Houston.
Asthma isn't pretty. It's the moment when you realize that a good day is about to become a bad one. But then I remembered that the world is so much bigger than that with Trelegy, because 1 dose a day helps keep my asthma symptoms under control. And with 3 medicines and 1 inhaler, Trelegy helps improve lung function so I can breathe easier for a full 24 hours.
Trelegy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Trelegy contains a medicine that increases risk of hospitalizations and death from asthma problems when used alone. When this medicine is used with an inhaled corticosteroid, like in Trelegy, there is not a significant increased risk of these events. Do not take Trelegy more than prescribed. Trelegy may increase risk of thrush and infections. Get emergency care for serious allergic reactions. See your doctor if your asthma does not improve or gets worse.
Ask your doctor about once daily Trelegy for asthma, because breathing should.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Good morning and welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning it is quite mild out here. It is almost take off the suit jacket style weather. Not quite there yet, but I mean, we're getting closer. We're basically have entered what I would say is mid to late spring, because we're starting to get these temperatures upper 70s as opposed to down in the 30s and 40s for highs. But with the 70s also comes the risk of some stronger storms to develop. Now, we already saw that over the weekend, but we're going to see it again perhaps on Wednesday. And like what we saw over the weekend, damaging winds are going to be the highest threat. And the reason for that is it's going to be a cold front coming through. And along that frontal boundary, you're going to have some really intense winds aloft, which can make its way down the surface. Now, ahead of the front itself, there's always that window where you can get a nice little spin up, hence that tornado risk. And it's worth pointing out, because the air aloft is a little bit different this go around, we could also see some large hail, something we really haven't seen with any of the storms so far. So again, this is going to be another active day for tomorrow. Start planning to be very weather aware, especially afternoon, evening.
Well, taking a look at The Rock's Instagram page, where he announced Monday he's in Hawaii shooting the live action picture of Disney's animated hit Moana. He provided the voice of Maui in the 2016 animated film and will be reprising his role in the live action version. Johnson talked about his personal connection to Moana's Polynesian story due to his Samoan roots. He didn't say if any other voice talent from the original film will be starring this time around. There has not been any mention of a release date.
Had just seen the story last night on Channel 3, and I couldn't believe I was looking right at the spoon everybody's been looking for.
Well, on Monday, we told you about police in Arizona looking for a 15-foot red spoon stolen from a Dairy Queen in Phoenix. Well, on Monday, this man, Michael Foster, found it. How crazy is that? He was playing Pokemon Go and came across the spoon resting on a fence near a middle school, which was less than 2 miles away from the vandalized DQ. The gamer called police, and the spoon has now been returned. Police are now looking for 3 people who investigators say unbolted the $3,500 spoon and also damaged the building in the process. Oh wait, there's that video. Okay, so how did they unbolted it? Oh, wow. They didn't even try to cover themselves. Interesting. It must not be all that heavy if one guy can pick it up.
Today's edition of Dumb Criminals.
I know, right?
Of
Today's
all the
edition
things,
of dumb things to do.
Yeah, why do you want a giant spoon?
I don't know. I wonder if they just did it to do it. And then also, why just leave it there?
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to take it.
I wonder if they got to the point of, oh, we didn't think that they would actually be that upset. You know what? You just dump it. And imagine that being that guy walking around here. All right, let's see, Snorlax. Let's see, Pikachu. Giant spoon.
Giant spoon. I just don't like, come on. There's cameras everywhere, people.
You know, I almost beat up a guy when I was running years ago for playing Pokemon Go.
That is not surprising.
Yeah, I was about to say.
He was in the park, and he was following me like this with his camera, or with his phone.
Take that note.
Take note.
Our time right now is 5:57. You're watching Dayton. Oh, still to come, a locally owned restaurant chain setting up a new location in Kettering at 6, who's expanding, and when they plan to open up their new spot.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's three quick stories you're waking up to on social media this morning. U.S. passport delays are up to 4 months long and getting even worse.
Crazy.
American demand for international travel surged since the pandemic, and delays are likely to worsen as we get into the busier travel season. Going anywhere international? Running away?
I'm not even leaving my house. A sign that spring is here. The Masters tournament set to begin in just a couple days. New video, though, showing players attempting to skip their balls across the water at the 16th hole of the Augusta National.
Skipping rocks is actually one of my favorite
things. Oh, I
things
love
to do,
that. Yeah.
But I cannot do that.
No, I can't do that.
And a woman is on a quest to go on as many dates in as many countries as possible. So Farloni James has been on 34 dates in 19 countries. They include a 13-hour date in Egypt during Ramadan and a nighttime tour of the Italian city of Verona on a scooter.
Wow, she's fancy.
She is fancy.
She's a little bougie.
I was going to say.
She's a little bougie for me.
You got to have a little bit of this to
I
get on that
guess.
list.
My goodness.
And now we want to give you a live look over the Miami Valley. Weather this morning is a bit warm, but we could see some nasty weather tomorrow.
So let's send it right over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak, who's going to break down this morning's forecast, but also why we're seeing that code red weather alert.
Yeah. Elise, you got two things going on there, and they're kind of almost direct opposites. So the first of which is, let's get to the code red weather alert. Damaging wind gusts are possible for tomorrow on Wednesday. There's an isolated tornado threat as well as potentially some large hail. Now, about this morning, it's pretty fairly quiet. It's pretty warm outside. We are continuing to see a couple of thunderstorms, including a severe thunderstorm well to our northwest. But this one in here is the next one that should be here sometime around late morning. We could actually get a couple of thunder boomers during that time period. So I'm not expecting any type of severe weather during the morning hours, but it could yet again be that wet weather somewhere around the mid to late morning. So if you're putting kids on a bus, getting ready for your morning commute, you still have the umbrella from leftover from yesterday, you'll be okay. And frankly, if you get outside early on and get inside early on, maybe one of those that are first in the office, you should be okay. As for the roads this morning, right for now, the morning commute picking up a little bit. Still no major issues on the interstate. The only thing of note, I-75 North Dryden Road, that's exit 50. The exit ramp is, or rather entrance ramp is still closed.
In just a matter of hours, early in-person voting will be kicking off for the May primary.
Dayton 24/7's Alex King is live in downtown Dayton with the details. And Alex, what do people need to know?
Well, you can find a full list of candidates and issues on your county's Board of Elections website. Early voting starts at 8 this morning here at the Montgomery County Administration Building. You'll have until April 30th, the Sunday before Election Day. Along with early voting, Montgomery County will start sending out absentee ballots as well, and you can request those online.
There's also a new law here in Ohio that voters need to keep in mind before heading out this year. What is that law?
Yes, Elise, you'll need a photo ID this time around. You can use a driver's license, your state ID, or a military ID, but you cannot use a utility bill or anything without a picture on it. We'll have everything you need to know about the May primaries underneath the local section of our website, Dayton247now.com, and stay with us because we're going to talk about what specifically you're going to see on the ballot coming up. Live in Dayton, Alex King, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
Ohio's driving home its new distracted driving law starting today. It's illegal in most cases to use or hold a cell phone or other device when you're behind the wheel. As Terry Sullivan reports, a new campaign urges you to lock before you rock the road.
It's a straightforward message with a nod to Ohio's rock and roll roots.
Anything more than a single touch or swipe is against the law. So, lock that screen before you rock the road.
As of Tuesday, police will be able to pull you over if they see you holding a cell phone or electronic device in your hand or lap.
Put it simply, lock your phone, put it down, put it in the console, put it in the glove compartment. Just get it out of your hands.
DeWine says too many people have been seriously hurt or even killed because of poor choices behind the wheel. New research from Nationwide Insurance found that 42% of Ohio drivers admitted to making a phone call on a handheld device while driving. 25% say they've texted. 10% have admitted to video chatting. And 5% admitted to watching TV or a movie.
It was a beautiful day, Saturday afternoon in June, the day before Father's Day.
Leah Fullenkamp's husband was killed in 2018 by a driver who was online shopping.
Shortly after pulling out of the driveway, John was hit from behind by an SUV. This driver was using her cell phone to shop online. The equipment broke off from the tractor rolled. John was thrown off. Care flight was called, but he passed away before they could take off.
Her family hopes this new law will change behavior and save lives.
That was Terry Sullivan reporting. There'll be a 6-month grace period, so if you're pulled over before October 4th, you'll get a warning.
Taking a live look from the Indiana State Police of Pendleton's Facebook page. Right now, officers are investigating after a Winchester woman was found killed. Now, Sunday night, police officers went to the 600 block of East Short Street. They found a woman with a gunshot wound and took 3 suspects into custody. That woman was later identified as Isabel Hernandez and taken to the hospital, but she later died from her injuries. 25-year-old Larry Plank III now faces a preliminary charge of murder.
Right now, Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost is suing the Wapakoneta Construction Company and its owner for taking money and not completing the work. The company, Grizzly Buildings, is accused of accepting over $200,000 from customers who say the work was never started, never finished, or done improperly. The U.S. office received over 16 complaints about the company since November of 2021. The Attorney General is reminding you to always check a company's authenticity with the Better Business Bureau. You can do that at bbb.org.
East Dayton Christian schools will be back open this morning after closing yesterday due to a threat. An investigation led to the arrest of an 11-year-old boy. Now take a look at the school's Facebook page. The superintendent says a threat came in on Sunday and officials decided to close the school on Monday out of precaution. Police say those threats came in from an 11-year-old who is not even associated with the school. He now faces charges of inducing panic.
Our time right now is 6:07. Don't forget you can get your headlines scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
Your weather's on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
A surprise setback in oil production. I'm Audrell Nashar in Washington, and coming up, what it could mean for you at the pump this summer.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good morning. Here's what we're waking up to in Dayton. It is a fairly quiet morning thus far. Just a few clouds now in the area. Temperatures are actually quite mild for this time of year. We are expecting them to get all the way into the upper 70s, but there is the threat of showers and even a couple of thunderstorms. I would target this time period between 9 and 11, so front half of your day, but once you get into the middle half and the end half, at least of the daytime hours, it is going to turn quite mild outside. In fact, I would dare say, forget about the heat. Some of us maybe actually be reaching for the AC, not because it's too hot, but just because there's going to be a tinge of humidity in the air, something that, isn't unusual for this time of year, but it is certainly going to be on the more warm and more humid side of average. As for the roads this morning, it is a fairly average-ish morning commute thus far. Haven't seen any tie-ups or concerns either on the interstates or on the secondary roads thus far.
Our time right now is 6:11. A locally owned restaurant chain setting up a new location in Kettering just ahead who's expanding and when they plan to open the new spot.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Live on ABC 22, you're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Oil prices soaring on Monday on news that Saudi Arabia and other oil-producing countries announced a round of output cuts.
Dayton 24/7 Now's national correspondent Atra El-Nashar reports the news came as a shock to many, and it could impact your budget this summer.
An unexpected blow to global energy supply dealt by a handful of OPEC Plus members, with Saudi Arabia leading the charge, cutting oil production by more than 1.1 million barrels collectively per day until the end of the year. Russia cutting another 500,000 per day.
In light of the fall in prices in the last couple of weeks, primarily driven by the banking crisis, oil prices had reached as low as $65 a barrel. They've been very open about pushing for higher prices.
OPEC Plus's Joint Ministerial Monitoring Committee says this is a precautionary measure aimed at supporting the stability of the oil market. Still, market watchers were caught off guard with the high demand of summer driving season just around the corner. The average gas price in the U.S. is $3.48 a gallon, according to Gas Buddy. Petroleum analyst Patrick Tahan says, as with any decision from OPEC, it's hard to know precisely what impact these cuts will have here at home.
Take things with a grain of salt, simply because you don't know really how all these countries are going to be committing to this or if it will play out.
Dahan is sticking with his forecast of the national average gas price ranging between $3.29 and $4.19 between now and the end of June. However, the announced production cuts won't make the Federal Reserve's job of fighting inflation any easier. The progress that's been made has been in part to falling energy prices. President Biden's critics have long called on him to encourage domestic oil production, panning his trip to Saudi Arabia last summer.
We had a good discussion on ensuring global energy security and adequate oil supplies to support global economic growth.
Though he did just approve the Willow project in Alaska, but oil from the massive drilling endeavor likely won't reach the market for years. OPEC Plus's market share is so massive, few see a world in which the cartel's sudden cuts won't send ripples around the world. In Washington, I'm Atrel Nashar reporting.
We are looking at the potential for strong to severe storms for tomorrow. In the meantime, well, once we get past the morning and the shower risk, there is going to be a fantastic day on tap for this afternoon and evening. Temperatures should get into the mid to upper 70s. Right now I have 78 degrees, factoring in we could actually see a little bit more sunshine than yesterday, and B, it's a much warmer environment. Speaking of warmer, 66 degrees. You know, it was maybe, 2 weeks ago we were struggling to see 40s as highs, and now we're talking about 60s as lows. It's going to be an impressively warm atmosphere for us starting tomorrow morning. But the warm and humid temperatures will lead to at least a chance of some stronger storms to develop. Tomorrow, 75 degrees, and again, strong to severe storms possible mainly during the afternoon and evening along a cold front. And within that, we could see damaging wind gusts. I can't completely rule out isolated tornado, although I will say these two risks seem to be much smaller than this wind gust threat. Kind of similar to what we saw on Friday night into Saturday, where if everything goes right, you can get little notches in a line to form an isolated tornado, although that would be more exception rather than the rule. Beyond that, it turns quiet with temperatures over the weekend in the 60s and at least a little bit of sunshine. Roads this morning have been fairly quiet across the area. Haven't had too many tie-ups or concerns. 75, 675, 70, 35, and 4 all moving freely this morning.
Good morning. If you are commuting from Dayton to the Cincinnati area, I do have a road closure in Butler County to let you know about that goes through April 7th, and that is Ware Road. It is closed just north of Morgan-Thaler Road, and your detour there is posted to get you around it, but Morgan-Thaler to North Riverside to Busenbark back to State Route 73 will get you around that closure, so keep that in mind if you're heading out the door this morning. I'm Jen Dalton with Triple Team Traffic. Have a good day.
Well, good morning to you. It is a Tuesday morning and it's pretty uneventful out there, so we'll take it. If you're going to be working your way in towards Columbus, you are doing well in those 70 eastbound lanes all the way towards 270 in towards downtown with light traffic right now. We don't have any alerts on the board and things are moving nicely over here on 670 as well. If you're popping up to the north, 315, 71 still moving freely without any delays, so you should be good to go if you're heading our way. I'm Katie McKee with your Triple Team Traffic.
Topping this morning's Dayton Business Journal headlines, a popular locally owned restaurant is now expanding to a 5th location. TJ Chumps, based in Miamisburg, has filed for a liquor permit on East Stroop Road in Kettering, where Hawthorne Grill used to be. The restaurant already has locations in Miamisburg, Inglewood, Fairborn, and Hubert Heights. The owner says this new location will fill a void between their Miamisburg and Fairborn restaurants. It'll be significantly smaller than their others, letting them focus mainly on delivery. The owners hope to open by July. To read more about this story and others like it, head on over to Dayton247now.com, click on the news tab, and then select Dayton Business Journal.
Our time right now is 6:20. Jump around. Easter, just a hop and a skip away in minutes.
Jump, jump, jump.
Yeah, jump around.
Jump, jump.
We show you a few egg hunts in the Miami Valley. They'll be fun for the entire family.
Are you hopping around?
No, not yet.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Time for Pet of the Day, where we're joined by Calvin today. Lynn sent in Calvin, who evidently had breakfast and decided, you know, I've had enough fun for today. I'm going to take a nap. Boy, can we all be like Calvin, right? We are going to be looking at more showers and storms, though, during this 10 a.m. through 12. So that was about when we saw it yesterday. Perhaps maybe just a little bit more, let's say, heavier rain or even a couple of rumbles of thunder are possible. Otherwise, from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., upper 60s and low to mid 70s. So we're talking about another very much so mild and, dare I say, warm day overall. This is by and large not going to be a bad day by any stretch of imagination once you get past the morning. But again, this morning could be more wet weather headed our way, which would make the second straight day after yesterday's showers, at least for some of us. As for this morning's commute, it's been fairly quiet, no major issues. I-75 North, Dryden Road, exit 50, that entrance ramp is still closed.
Well, all week long, there's going to be a ton of Easter hunts happening here in the Miami Valley, but I want to focus on two happening this week from the city of Dayton. It's going to be happening Wednesday and Thursday. Now, the Easter Bunny is going to be hanging out at Princeton Park on Wednesday at April 5th, and then Belmont Park on April 6th. Now, start time for both of these just after dinner time, 6 o'clock. So anyone the age of 10 on younger is invited to come out. Bring your basket, and you can hunt for some of the eggs. Now, they're going to be lasting as long as there's eggs available. So come out early, be ready to hunt for some eggs. It's going to be a good old time. And if you don't make it out to these two, there are plenty of other egg hunts in the Miami Valley for you to enjoy. Gotta love it. Kids love hunting around.
I was going to say, your two kids are probably about the age, I know yours may be a little on the young side for Easter egg hunts, but, you know, what's 6, 7?
No, you can do it at any age, really. I mean, like, so our neighborhood has an Easter egg hunt that we put on for our kids in our neighborhood.
Guess who's going to be the Easter Bunny?
Shh, you don't ruin the big surprise.
You're his helper.
I'm his helper, but yes, that is going to happen. Anyways, we have different age groups. So we got like 0 to 2, we have like 2 to 6, and then anyone older than 6. So they're not kind of getting in each other's way.
Yeah.
So it should be fun.
We're going to do a little Easter egg hunt for our kids, inside or out. I don't know what it's supposed to be. I'm not going to lie, I haven't paid attention to your forecast.
Saturday, which is our neighborhood hunt, beautiful weather.
We're going to do it on Easter, but it's just going to be the two of them. So
it'll be fine, you know, and Easter egg hunts
until my little one starts to beat up on Roman.
Or, you know, other kids. Either way, that'll be fun to watch.
Oh, no, it's just going to be the two of them. So they're just going to fight amongst each other. Yeah.
That'd be great.
It's everyday life.
You got to keep them restrained to the house.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. My younger one's scrappy.
Hey, just like Mama.
Gosh.
Our time right now, 6:27, still to come.
Early in-person voting begins today for the May primaries. Coming up next, we're going to talk about something new for you to keep in mind this year.
But first, here's Stacey Bell with America's Steals and Deals.
The following segment is sponsored by Naki.
We really like a sandwich at our house for a snack on the go because we're always running around, but it is the worst when you go to grab the bread and it's stale and it's moldy. This Tupperware bread saver has really helped us out with that. It's so easy to use, it's lightweight. It's got this little divider in it, so you can put the divider in, and if different people in the house like different types of bread, one goes here, the other goes here, and then you just close it, and it's gonna keep your bread fresh, and that's gonna save you money because you don't wanna throw away money. Groceries are so expensive right now. This works because it's got this little ventilation on the top, and it's just the right amount of air. Too much air makes the bread stale, and too little is gonna create mold. So this gives you just the right amount. The other thing I like about it, if you have the kids or the grandkids over, like sometimes when we have family, I like to treat us to muffins or bagels. You can put these in a separate compartment. Even if you treat yourself to the good bagels, they stay fresh right there, and you just cover it, and it's got this really sleek look. And it looks good in any kitchen, and it's really lightweight to transport. With this price that you're getting, you could buy a couple and give these to friends as a gift. Right now, we're offering 25% off the Tupperware Bread Saver. This is really a good deal. It's gonna save you money in the long run. Head to asadeals.com for this exclusive offer.
on ABC 22. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Here's a look at this morning's social feed. Don't look down. Video of a woman swimming with sharks is making its rounds on Twitter.
Some people just too crazy.
I don't have any desire to do this.
I'm okay.
I mean, it's beautiful, but no, I'm good.
It's all
I'd
about,
like to keep my limbs.
Got to get that picture for the gram. Right? Is that what they say?
I guess so.
Japan's now restricting visitors to one of its islands to help save a
I know
rare native cat.
I know the appropriate name. Iromatier?
Iromatier?
Sure. That's what I think they said.
They're trying to help improve that, whatever the heck you just said, population.
That's exactly what I wrote back to the producer. I said, a what?
A what?
And take a look at this radioactive green sky. It's not actually radioactive, but it certainly looks like it. This is the Aurora Borealis in Alaska. How crazy is that?
That'd be pretty sweet.
It would be pretty amazing.
I've seen the Northern Lights myself, but not that.
Yeah, I've never seen them, but it's beautiful.
And taking a live look over the Miami Valley right now, you can see this is downtown Dayton. We're waking up. It's actually a little warmer today, but we could be seeing some nasty weather tomorrow.
So let's send it right over to meteorologist Nick Maruziak, who's issuing that code red weather alert for tomorrow.
It looks like we're going to yet again deal with the threat of some strong to severe storms across the area. And yet again, it's winds that are going to be your primary threat. Can't completely rule out isolated tornado or large hail. Again, that is for tomorrow, and we'll really touch on why we could expect it. But for right now, we are tracking a line of showers and thunderstorms. No, this isn't going to be severe, but there is at least a chance of a couple rumbles of thunder as you kick off your morning commute, or should I say, get to the latter stages of the morning commute. This morning from about 7 to 9 a.m. should be fairly quiet. Starting around 10, 11, we will have that isolated thunderstorm threat. Again, not expecting any heavy-duty weather this morning, but a couple rumbles of thunder and some periods of heavy rain are possible. As for the roads this morning, it is quiet across the board, so no major issues are in the area. So things are looking okay as you begin your morning commute.
A live look this morning over New York's Trump Tower, where former President Donald Trump is inside at this hour, preparing to become the first ever former president to go before a judge. In just a matter of hours, the former president will step inside this Manhattan courthouse behind me. There, he'll be arraigned on several charges of falsifying business records. Now, while the indictment is sealed until today's hearing, sources say there is at least one felony. Overnight, former President Trump criticized Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg, accusing his office of leaking information about the sealed indictment to the press, saying Bragg should, quote, indict himself. Now, Dayton 24/7 Now's Gwyneth Falloon explains what we can expect once former President Trump surrenders.
Well, probably the most anticipated, his indictment will be unsealed when he is arraigned, so we'll learn what exactly he's being charged with. But many are predicting his charges likely stem from the alleged $130,000 hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels. He'll enter either a guilty plea or a not guilty plea. That's according to the University of Dayton's law professor Thaddeus Hoffmeister. He also says it's unlikely he will be handcuffed and taken into custody.
So he'll turn himself in, then he'll be processed. You go through the process, fingerprinting, mugshot, things like that.
Hoffmeister also tells me it's probably too early for Trump to plead guilty. However, it is also likely Trump will fight the charges, as the Associated Press is reporting the former president added a third attorney to his legal counsel. Reporting, I'm Gwyneth Falloon.
There are some questions about whether former President Trump will have a mugshot. Some experts are saying it's unlikely.
The leaning has been not to, because A, it's not really necessary. Everybody knows what he looks like. It's not like if he fled the jurisdiction that they would say, wow, we really should have had that mugshot. B, if they need to, they can create a mugshot from existing pictures. But the real concern is that the mugshot is going to be misused.
New York state law prohibits the release of booking photos unless police say there's a legitimate law enforcement purpose to release them. Trump's legal team is trying to avoid a leak.
And news outlets will not be allowed to broadcast the arraignment. Photographers will be allowed, though, to take still pictures of Trump and the courtroom before the hearing begins.
A new poll finds most Americans approve of the former president's indictment. According to CNN, 60% of people somewhat or strongly approve of it. 40% disapprove. That same poll found 75% of people think politics played either a major or minor role in the decision to press charges against him. We'll be following the court proceedings all morning long. To get the latest updates sent directly to your phone, download the Dayton 24/7 Now app. Scan the QR code right there on your screen. You can also download it for free in your device's app store.
Well, voter registration is now closed for the May primary, but early in-person voting kicks off today.
Dayton 24/7 Now's Alex King is live this morning with what you need to know. And Alex, what are people going to see on the ballot?
Well, the big race that people will see on this ballot is going to be Dayton Commission, who is looking to fill 2 seats. You'll also see a large tax levies for several school districts in the area, including Vandalia Butler, Northmont, Huber Heights, as well as Mad River.
And so, Alex, I know that you'll be able to start absentee voting today as well. So what do folks need to know before they head out?
Yeah, that's correct, Elise. Counties will start sending out ballots today. Absentee ballots must be postmarked the day before elections. You can also hand deliver them to the Montgomery County Board of Elections by 7:30 on Election Day, which is May 2nd. Excuse me. Do not send your ballot via email or fax. Actually, Ohio law doesn't allow electronic transmission of a voted ballot, but we will have everything you need to know about the May primaries underneath the local section of our website, Dayton247now.com. And stay with us because we're going to talk more about, something new this year that you need to keep in mind before you head out to vote. Live in Dayton, Alex King, Dayton 24/7 Now News.
We're learning new details about a public visitation for a Springfield Township officer happening this week. Officer Tim Unwin was responding to a call when his cruiser hit another vehicle, killing him and the other driver, 50-year-old William Dunson. An open visitations tomorrow starting at 6 p.m. A public funeral is Thursday starting at 10 a.m. Unwin is a 4-year veteran of the force and 31 years old.
6:39 our time right now. Don't forget your headlines are scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
And your weather on the side of your screen all morning long, even during commercials.
The college basketball season coming to a close. UConn and San Diego State playing for the national championship just ahead. Highlights from Houston.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 Now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
The calendar says it's spring, but winter weather is hanging tough in some areas. So are these horses, it seems. More snow in parts of Utah through midweek. Meanwhile, on Lake Winnebago and Wisconsin, ice shoves are a source of amazement and entertainment. They happen when strong winds push, or shove, chunks of ice onto the shore. They're pretty cool to watch, but large ones can cause damage.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
Welcome to the Watson's Weather Patio, where this morning, not too bad outside. I'm just thinking to myself that it's getting to the point where I think I'm going to have to start planning on being outside more than I am inside. And it is always that time of the year where we kind of transition out of realistically early part of spring and into what I would say is more late spring, almost early summer, or at least get the fringes of that. And today, 57 degrees. That's about the point where on a summer day we'd probably say it's dry outside. On a spring day we'd say, well, there's a little bit of humidity in the air. And I mean, you can feel that it is certainly warmer. There is just a tinge of humidity outside. And between those two things, we could actually see some stronger storms develop for tomorrow. Obviously, today, not necessarily going to be a strong thunderstorm day, but based on the fact that we do have a little wave that could make its way in mid to late morning, I would not rule out a couple of stray showers or even a couple of thunder boomers here during the mid to late morning hours. We'll time that out for you. A little more detail coming up in just a bit.
This was our vision. This was our dream. This is what we talked about when we recruited these guys, that we could get together and do something big like this.
It was a big night for Danny Hurley and his Yukon Huskies. For the 5th time in school history, they hoisted the trophy as champions of the Division I men's basketball tournament. Now, the focus was on Houston, Texas last night, of course, as Yukon took on San Diego State. It was a good start for the Aztecs, but that quickly changed. The Huskies finished a dominant run in the tournament with another impressive win, beating SDSU 76-59. Yukon won all 6 tournament games by double digits and by scoring an average of 20 points per game. Now, all 5 national titles have come in the last 24 years.
We now want to give you a live look at the Cincinnati Reds Twitter page. It reads www.redswinagain.com. Cincy made it 3 in a row on Monday when they faced off against the Chicago Cubs. After winning back-to-back games over the weekend against the Pittsburgh Pirates, the Cubs came to town and it was back and forth start at Great American Ballpark. But with Chicago leading 6-4 in the bottom of the 5th, Jason Volser put Cincinnati in front for good with a 3-run blast to left. The Reds bullpen kept it together as Cincy wins 7-6. And look who's on top of the NL Central. Probably won't last for long, but Cincy sharing the top spot at 3-1 with the Milwaukee Brewers. The Reds are back in action at home tonight when they take on the Cubs at 6:40.
6:45 is our time right now. Spring is here in Kings Island, opening soon in minutes. The big changes for the park and when we can enjoy opening day.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Good morning. We're tracking the next line of storms, or at least thunderstorms, across the Bloomington area. This is not going to be severe, so let's get that out ahead of it. But there is at least chance we wake up or at least see a couple of thunderstorms here over the next 2 or 3 hours. And this is right for now. We do have, I would say, anywhere between partly to mostly cloudy. Again, through 10, 11 this morning, a couple of thunderstorms possible. Should clear out by early afternoon. From there, mix of sun and clouds. This is going to be interesting to see because this is the new model data, so we'll see this together. So again, tomorrow afternoon and evening, there is likelihood of a cold front coming its way through. Right for now, this model seems to be just a touch on the earlier side, or perhaps maybe just a wave during the afternoon. Here is the actual cold front that would move through during the evening. And the big concern with that is gusty winds and potentials there for damaging wind gusts. Right for now, we are under a level 3 in terms of the SPC. Reminder, that goes to level 5. At 4 and 5, that means outbreak is likely. Level 3, it means, okay, it's got a decent chance of being some strong to severe storms, something we are watching rather closely for tomorrow. Today into tonight, fairly quiet. Temperatures well above average all the way through tomorrow. And then the bottom not necessarily falls out, but we have a soft thud in the mid-50s for Thursday and Friday. As for traffic this morning, it has been, I would say, fairly quiet thus far in and around our area. No major issues on the interstates or state roads.
Big changes coming to Kings Island as we approach opening day. They just announced a new restaurant and a new executive chef. Chef Joseph Perez, here behind me in fact, will now head up food and the beverage team. And he says he hopes to help guests keep the making those long-lasting Kings Island memories. As for the new restaurant, it's called Greene and Grill, and it's going to head to International Street. You're taking a look at the rendering of the new space. It'll be a fast casual dining location featuring Eastern European and Mediterranean flavors. They're going to have fresh, healthier options like Moroccan chicken, glazed pork shoulder, and more. It'll be right next to the Starbucks, of course. Plus, the park previously announced a new themed area, Adventure Port, which will feature Enrique's quick service restaurant and Mercado, where you can actually get your favorite drinks. Kings Island tickets kick off on April 15th. I can't believe it's already almost opening day.
I mean, yesterday brought me hope.
Well,
spring.
yesterday was, I agree.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful.
And people are out and about. It was bustling downtown yesterday, and I think folks are gearing up to have some fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm never been to Kings Island, but all I know is, I heard of it in New Jersey. That's how its reputation is. So I'd be curious to check it out, although I do get motion sickness, so I may be watching everybody doing the rides.
No, dude, we need the roller coaster cam for Nick.
Oh. God, no. I can't even do the roller coasters.
I'll tell you what, I will be somewhere, wherever they serve the turkey legs for $25, just eating it like a Fred Flintstone.
There, do they? Do they got turkey legs? They got turkey legs, I guess.
See,
you gotta have the blue ice cream.
I'll find a turkey leg there. That's what I'll do.
You can't do roller coasters, eh?
No, not anymore.
I mean, I can, but you're going to hear a lot of words that should
no,
not
it's
come
not
out
even
of my
that.
mouth.
I actually get very sick from them for whatever reason.
You guys are.
Kids have changed.
You guys are lame.
No, kids have changed me. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm just lame. I'm not going to lie. I've been lame since like 18. Yeah.
I'm sure it's longer than that.
I am just going to refrain from speaking.
Oh, sorry, Nick. Our time right now is 6:52. All eyes on the Big Apple. Former President Trump and New York City expected to be in court today. Just ahead, when the balloon breaks down, what to expect during this arraignment.
in just a matter of hours, early in-person voting will be kicking off for the May primary.
Dayton 24/7's Alex King is live downtown with the details. And Alex, what do people need to know? Well, it appears
we are having some technical difficulties, so we'll get out to Alex in just a moment. Nathan, I think you're up at the Mon stand if you would like to take a little lollygag over that way.
Lollygag,
A little
giddy up over here.
lollygag, there we go.
All right, carrying on now to Ohio is now driving home. Its new distracted driving law. Starting today, it's illegal in most cases to use or hold a cell phone or other device when you're behind the wheel. As Terry Sullivan reports, a new campaign urges you to lock before you rock the road.
It's a straightforward message with a nod to Ohio's rock and roll roots.
Anything more than a single touch or swipe is against the law.